Well, we mentioned the Miami Heat, runners-up to the Dallas Mavericks, and we want to spotlight their hottest nights. The Big Three getting to work gets one back-to-back-to-back, and that's in mid-February. Some teams have more than one back-to-back-to-back. Two stretches of 5+ straight games on the road, and the league made sure that they wouldn't miss the Lakers. They will play the Lakers a couple of times. So the Big Three for Miami getting themselves ready. LeBron, D. Wade, and, of course, Chris Bosh.
Bosh goes to the step back and hits. Nice move by Bosh. Bosh off the feint and knocks it down. Bosh is on fire. How about Chris Bosh? He's hit his last 8 shots. Bosh to the rim. Bosh serving up a facial sensational game for Chris Bosh. This is a career night in terms of significance.
And we'd like to welcome in by phone from Miami, Mr. Chris Bosh. And Chris, I don't know what you were doing, but we were working here during the lockout, and I'm halfway to my law degree, so I'm making progress. You got to be ready to go. Let me ask you about opening against the team that ended your season back in the spring, the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, I think for one, it's exciting for us just to be back playing basketball. I know it's exciting for the fans, and it's a great way to really kick off the season. With the, Christmas Day is always big games, and, we were going to Dallas anyway. So to open up the season with that, I think it's great. And, it's going to be a little bit bitter for us because we're going to have to watch them raise their banner and everything, but it'll be great motivation, a lot of fuel for us to use throughout our careers.
Chris, when you look at it, you had an unusual offseason starting to get ready, and every player tries to go in the offseason, add something to his game. And I think obviously for you and Dwayne and also LeBron James, a little bit different. I know coming from Toronto, you got a chance to get volume touches, and all three of you guys had to share touches. You got your points and your shots, but what are you looking forward to bringing to this season to the Miami Heat?
Well, during the summer I watched a lot of film, and I saw a lot of situations where I could have been really aggressive, and I missed a bunch of opportunities. So, I really wanted to polish a bunch of things in my game, a bunch of weaknesses I had, and try to strengthen those to be more of a complete player. But, this year I don't think there will be many surprises as far as my teammates will go. We know how the offense is going to flow. We know how everything is going to go. So, I've just been working out on different things and anticipating, and like I say, working on my weaknesses and kind of working on things where I know I'm going to get the ball, situations where I know I'm going to be in during the season.
Chris, did you ever really get used to the circus that was the Miami Heat when they came to town, being everyone's big game, all the attention, all the excitement that went with that?
Nah, I wasn't ready for it. I think throughout the whole year, it constantly surprised me. And, I love basketball. I love big games. I love big game situations. And it was with us every night. And, I didn't have the right attitude that I needed to attack every situation every night. I don't think you can be ready for it until you actually go through it. And, we went through it. I'm going to make sure that I take note. I have taken note, and, I'm just going to make sure I push myself to get better every single day and try to win every single night.
Chris, when you look at it, your team last year, and individually we talked about yourself, but when you break down the Miami Heat, I know you have this summer, what do you think you guys have to get better? And the second question is a rumor keep floating around that you'll be playing center. Can you address that?
Well, I get asked that question every year. It's actually the first time I think I've been asked it with the Heat, but we're going to play with different types of lineups. I think everybody saw that last year. Coach Bosh, he's going to put us in different situations, and sometimes, I will be down, I guess, at the 5 if you want to number it. But to me, it's all the same thing. Being out on the court is being out on the court. And Smitty, I know you can pretty much agree with me because did you play the 2 or the 3? I don't think it really mattered because you're going to shoot your shots, you're going to play your games, you're going to come off pick and rolls, and you're going to play to your strengths. So I just want to play basketball. It doesn't matter where.
Chris, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck during the upcoming season. It was really exciting. I'm sure it will be again.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Chris Bosh spending some time with us. He said he never really got used to it last year. It was really, it could be overwhelming for a player. You have to make that adjustment when you're that high profile.
I think so. I think you look at Chris Bosh's situation coming from Toronto, and then you formed this big three. It was a circus. I mean, it was so much sideshow for them. Everybody talking about different situations. I think they'll be a little bit used to it. I think they can go into the season right now focused. They hadn't had a big-time training camp where they were together. I think right now, going through losing the championship, they'll be more focused.
And as he said, he'll open up and watch them raise the banner in Dallas.
Ooh,
and speaking of the champ, that's where we go right now. Nobody wants to do that, but, you know, that's the way it falls. One back-to-back-to-back, and that will take place in early March in the first 9 games. All in the Central Time Zone, 6 of them at home, so that's a good thing. 5 games in 6 days, they have that happen also in early March, and they will play the Heat a couple of times. Once again, the schedule makers, you got to get that finals rematch going. But, Smitty, a lot of questions about the Mavs right now in terms of who is returning to try to help them repeat.
You know, that's the big question. They have so many free agents when you start talking about J.J. Barea, Tyson Chandler, Caron Butler, Deshaun Stevenson. And I think the most important free agent right now is Tyson Chandler because he allowed them to play in a different style. He got up and ran. He rebounded the basketball. He blocked shots. And if you don't bring Tyson Chandler back, yes, you have Brendan Haywood, but he's a different style type of center. Much slower center, much half-court center. I think the Dallas Mavericks have to have Tyson Chandler back. And if you don't get Tyson Chandler back, you start to have to covet a guy like Samuel Dellenberg, kind of a Tyson Chandler, similar player at that center spot. But I think if you look at this team, if they can bring everybody back, they have a chance to repeat.
Do you see Dirk having the same kind of impact that he finished the season with? Will he continue to play at that type of level? I mean, obviously a great player.
A phenomenal offseason what he had in the playoffs. He just took teams and destroyed them. And I think because of Tyson Chandler, he helped Dirk out so much because Dirk didn't have to really focus on rebounding. Defensively, he covered Dirk and all the Dallas Mavericks. I think if Tyson Chandler is back, I think along with Jason Kidd, life is much easier because they have so many other guys like Jason Terry who stepped up. J.J. Barea stepped up. So you really couldn't focus on double-teaming Dirk Nowitzki anymore. And you know what? Dirk decided to say, hey, I'm going to punish a lot of these younger guys and smaller guys in the post. And I think that's the reason why he had a great playoffs.
Can't wait to see the rematch on Christmas Day. And moving ahead as we go to break, let's take a look at the New Year's Eve schedule. Why don't you ring in 2012 with this? You can start in the afternoon as you're getting yourself primed for the big celebration that night. Nuggets and Lakers at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. How about the Pacers, Pistons, Hawks, Rockets? The Jazz and Spurs will be on NBA TV. And then late night, New York going coast to coast.